Ever wondered what truly changes when you hit your 80s? It's not just more candles on the cake or slower mornings, but a quiet, profound shift that most folks don't really talk about. It's a time packed with wisdom and unexpected losses, feeling connected yet sometimes distant, deep calm, and yes, sometimes a deep sense of loneliness. If you're not quite ready for some of these new feelings and experiences, they can sneak up on you, leaving you thinking, why didn't anyone give me a heads up? In this chat, we're going to explore 5 honest truths about life after 80. We're not here to scare you or bring you down, but to give you a clearer picture. Because when you see these things coming, you're not caught off guard. You can prepare, you can meet them with strength, not surprise. We'll cover how your social circle might quietly shrink, how your body doesn't quite bounce back like it used to, that gradual need for a little extra help, which can feel weird, even when it's totally necessary, how the world sometimes starts to overlook you, and that odd ache that pops up when old what-ifs meet too much free time and a fuzzy sense of purpose. Stick around till the very end, because while some of these truths might seem a bit heavy, they also open the door to something pretty amazing: acceptance, resilience, and a chance to make these later years truly your own, with a dignity nobody else gets to define but you. Let's really talk about what happens after 80 and how you can walk through it with your eyes wide open, a steady hand, and your head held high. #1. Your social circle quietly fades away. One of the first big changes you might notice after turning 80 isn't about your body. It's about the people around you. The folks who once filled your days begin to drift away, often without a word. Friends pass on, neighbors move, family members grow quieter. Even those longtime buddies who used to call every week might now only check in every few months. It's not personal, it's just how time works, but it can leave an empty space that feels pretty big, no matter how strong or independent you are. You might wake up one morning and notice your phone isn't ringing as much. Invitations to get-togethers slow down. Family visits feel shorter, more rushed. People still care about you, absolutely, but they're busy or distracted or dealing with their own life changes. And slowly, those everyday chats and laughs that used to fill your life start to fade. This isn't something anyone really prepares you for. In your 60s and even 70s, most people are still around. There's energy, things happening, regular check-ins, but after 80, there's a real shift. You start to outlive friends. You find conversations less frequent. And this change is so gradual, so quiet, you might not even realize it's happened at first. I remember this wonderful gentleman, let's call him Arthur, aged 84. He went to the same coffee shop every morning for years. The staff knew his regular order. His friends would just show up there, no texts needed. It was his daily rhythm. But over time, those friends stopped coming. Some passed away, some moved, others just couldn't drive anymore. One day, Arthur told me, it's strange to walk into a place where everyone once knew your name, and now you're just the guy in the corner booth. The pain of that kind of loneliness isn't always loud. It doesn't always come with tears or visible sadness. Sometimes, it's just a long silence after dinner or a walk that feels a little too quiet. It's realizing that the list of people who truly know you is getting shorter, and you can't really stop it. But here's the good news. Knowing this reality means you can actually do something about it. You can open new doors, even when some old ones have closed. You can stay connected on your own terms, whether it's through a local club, a regular lunch, a phone call you make, or even an old-fashioned letter. Because after 80, connections don't always just come to you like they used to. You often have to go out and find them. And that takes courage. But hey, you've made it this far. You totally have that courage inside you. If this part really hit home for you, give us a 1 in the comments below. It helps me know you're right there with me. #2. Your body doesn't bounce back anymore by the time you hit 80. Your body isn't just whispering. It's speaking pretty clearly. Those little aches that used to come and go now tend to stick around. That tiredness that a quick nap used to fix might now last into the next day. And here's a truth that catches many people off guard. After 80, even small health issues can completely change your life overnight. You might wake up feeling great, go about your day, and by evening, something just feels off. A bit dizzy, a sore leg, a cough that hangs on longer than expected, and suddenly you're in a waiting room hearing words like monitoring, imaging, or possible admission. What you used to just shake off with a bit of rest now demands serious attention. And often, things don't go back to exactly how they were before. What makes this stage tough isn't just the physical stuff. It's how unpredictable it all is. You can do everything right, eat well, move gently, get your sleep, and still feel like your body is doing its own thing, making decisions you didn't sign up for. A tiny slip on the stairs can mean weeks of recovery. A stomach bug can wipe you out for days. And even when you do get better, things don't always fully return to normal. Your balance might feel a bit wobbly. Breathing might take more effort. That bounce back just isn't what it used to be. I knew a woman, let's call her Alina, 81. She was sharp, active, and super proud of her independence. She loved her backyard garden, walking the neighborhood, and her book club. But after a small fall while trimming a rose bush, everything changed. It wasn't the injury itself, it was what came after, she told me. Weeks of rest turned into months of feeling weaker. Her confidence dipped. I thought I was just taking a break, she said, but my body treated it like a full stop. That's the bit no one tells you. At 80, rest isn't always restorative in the same way. It can sometimes lead to a decline if you're not careful. And sometimes, even when you are super careful, your body decides to slow down anyway. You realize you're not bouncing back, you're adapting forward. But here's the powerful part of knowing this. You start to value your energy more wisely. You learn to pace yourself, not because you're scared, but out of deep respect for everything your body has carried you through. You start treating your health not as something guaranteed, but as a daily, almost sacred practice. And when you do that, even if the bounce is gone, your footing becomes steadier. You walk slower, but with more awareness. You rest longer, but with more purpose. And you begin to see that even a slower body can still carry a strong spirit. If you're still watching and these insights are hitting home, please type 2 in the comments below so I know you're here. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to hit that button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more helpful chats like this. Your support truly helps us keep sharing these important conversations. #3, the growing need for assistance. No matter how independent you've always been, one of the hardest things to come to terms with after 80 is this. You start needing help with things you used to do without a second thought. It doesn't happen all at once. It creeps in quietly, subtly, until one day you just notice. You're avoiding those high shelves. You're holding onto the railing a little tighter. You hesitate before getting behind the wheel on a rainy day. And even though a part of you still feels totally capable, another part knows some things just aren't as easy anymore. What makes this reality tough isn't just the physical change, it's the emotional side of it. For those who have spent decades taking care of everyone else, the idea of being the one who needs help can feel really uncomfortable. You might start feeling like a burden. Or you might try to hide what you can't do, skipping the grocery trip, not telling your kids you almost tripped, trying to fix a light bulb on your own, even though your shoulder's been aching for weeks. The desire to stay independent doesn't go away. If anything, it gets stronger. The truth is, independence after 80 looks different than it did at 60. It's not about doing absolutely everything by yourself. It's about knowing when it's okay to ask for a hand and being brave enough to accept it. I remember a man, let's call him George, 85. He prided himself on being a self-made man. He'd lived through a war, raised 4 kids, and even built his own shed out back with just some spare wood and pure grit. But one winter, he slipped on his icy driveway. No broken bones, just a bruised ego. He didn't tell anyone, but his daughter noticed something was off. She started showing up once a week to bring groceries and stay for coffee. At first, George resisted. "I'm perfectly fine," he'd grumble. But over time, that coffee visit became a special ritual, and eventually he admitted something that even surprised him. It's actually nice not having to carry everything alone. That's the shift. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. Understanding that accepting help isn't losing your independence. It's actually protecting it. Because when you let someone help you up the stairs, or drive you to the doctor, or carry that heavy bag, you're actually giving yourself more years to do the things that truly matter most to you. And not all help has to come from people. It can be a grab bar in the shower, a stool in the kitchen, a little reminder on the fridge. These small supports don't take away your dignity, they actually preserve it. After 80, the bravest thing you can say might just be, you know what, I could use a hand. Because the older you get, the more strength you show by choosing safety over pride, peace over struggle, and connection over isolation. If this point really resonated with you, go ahead and drop a 3 in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. #4. The quiet way the world stops noticing you. I recall a wonderful woman, let's call her Margaret, age 86. She volunteered at a local museum. One day, a visitor asked the staff a question that Margaret could have answered in her sleep. After all, she'd lived through that exact historical period. But the question just bypassed her completely. When I asked her how she felt, she just smiled and said, I'm used to it. But there was a quiet sadness in that smile, the kind that comes from being seen as part of the furniture instead of a vibrant, living story. But guess what? You are not furniture, you are not just background noise. You are still here, still thinking, still contributing. And just because the world sometimes forgets, that doesn't mean you have to. So what can you do? You speak up anyway. You ask questions, you share your opinions, you vote, you tell your stories even when no one asks. You stand tall even if your knees feel a little wobbly. Because every single time you claim your spot in the room, you remind the world and yourself that you are not done yet. You are not invisible. You are a living library, a witness to time, a voice that still absolutely matters. And you don't have to shout to be heard. You just have to refuse to disappear. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please pop a 4 in the comments below to let me know you're still here. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss out on our future videos. Your support means the world and helps us keep creating content that informs and inspires. Let's keep going. #5. The ache of unredefined purpose. As you settle deeper into your 80s, a strange quiet can settle in. Not just in your home or your schedule, but deep inside you. Life slows down, your calendar isn't as jam-packed, and with that slowness comes space. Space to think, to remember, to replay old moments. This can be beautiful, but if you're not careful, it can turn into something a bit heavy. Not the loud, dramatic kind of heavy, but a quiet kind, the I wish I'd spent more time with them kind. The why didn't I take that chance when I had it kind. The kind that shows up when you have plenty of time, but not always the energy or freedom to do the things you once put off. This isn't something people talk about much. We celebrate the wisdom of getting older, the freedom of retirement, the joy of grandchildren, and all of that is absolutely real. But so is that lingering question that often goes unspoken. What now if you've spent your whole life working, giving, running, raising a family, serving others, and then it all just stops? It can feel like your purpose is fading right along with it. I once knew a man, let's call him Charles, age 88, who had been a dedicated teacher for over 40 years. After he retired, he felt proud, but also oddly empty. No one needs me anymore, he once said. But that wasn't true. He just hadn't yet found a new way to feel needed. Because purpose doesn't retire, it just changes its shape. Maybe you don't build houses anymore, but you build confidence in your great-grandchildren with your amazing stories. Maybe you don't lead big meetings, but you lead with your calm presence when someone is hurting. Maybe you don't solve huge global problems, but you solve loneliness with a warm smile to a neighbor. The danger of regret isn't that you've made mistakes, we all have. It's that you dwell on them for too long without transforming them into something meaningful. But when you redefine purpose, not as just being productive, but as simply being present, you start to realize you still have so much to give, not just to others, but to yourself. Because the most important work you'll do after 80 may not be for some grand legacy or applause. It might just be this: waking up with kindness in your heart, curiosity in your eyes, and enough courage to ask, how can I bring a little light into the world today, even if it's just a tiny bit? That's not regret, that's redemption, and it's never, ever too late to find it. If this final point really hit home for you, please share your thoughts by commenting 5 below. Your engagement truly means a lot to me. Final thoughts: reaching your 80s is seriously a big deal. It's a huge milestone built on decades of love, loss, hard work, constant change, and incredible resilience. But with all that strength come new challenges. Some are subtle, others are hard to ignore, and facing these realities doesn't make you weak, it makes you honest. It means you've lived long enough to truly see life for what it is: unpredictable, sometimes a bit unfair, but still so deeply worth showing up for. So, which of these 5 realities struck you the most? Was it the quiet that settles in when your social world starts to shrink? The frustration of a body that doesn't quite recover like it used to? The awkwardness of needing help when you've spent a lifetime being the helper? Or maybe it was that feeling of becoming invisible when the world seems to rush past you? Or the ache that grows when your sense of purpose isn't as clear anymore? Whatever it was, I really hope you felt understood, because the truth is, you are absolutely not alone in any of this. Not in the slowing down, not in the moments of forgetting, not in the questions that keep you up at night, or the times that make you wonder what's next. And here's the wonderful news: even now, even at this stage, you get to choose. You can choose connection, you can choose rest, you can choose to ask for help, you can choose to speak up louder when someone overlooks you, and softer when someone needs your gentle understanding. You can choose to forgive yourself for what didn't happen and truly honor yourself for all that did. This chapter of life isn't the end. It's the deep, rich part of the story, the part where every word carries immense weight. The part where small gestures mean more than grand ones ever did. The part where your presence, your patience, your unique perspective, these become your greatest power. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your own life. Your thoughts are incredibly important to us, so please don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us so much motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others who might benefit. Your support helps us keep creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to chatting with you in our next video.